Ben and Jerry's made a whole lot of people mad whenever on the 4th of July they tweeted out some anti-American stuff as well as posted anti-American videos on Instagram saying that we should give back the land that we stole from the Native Americans and a bunch of other BS that if you watch my videos and you know my stance on it, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we're supposed to feel bad for conquering the land of America. Every single country out there has also conquered their land with the exception of a few here and there, but for the most part, I would say 99% of the entire earth has been conquered at some point, and most likely multiple times. The land has been conquered over and over again, as well as the Native Americans did really dark things to each other. I shouldn't even have to go into it. Like, you should know that the Native Americans were not some saints like everybody tries to make them out to be. But of course, Ben and Jerry's is they don't actually care. They don't actually care about giving back land to the Native Americans. They don't actually care about any of these causes that they claim to support, and it's proven because of this article right here. Native American tribe demands Ben and Jerry's return its land after 4th of July message. And of course, Ben and Jerry's doesn't say a word back. Ben and Jerry's doesn't actually care about making the world a better place. They don't care because it's not going to make the world a better place if we give America back to the Native Americans. Like, let's just be real. It benefited the entire earth that America was conquered by the people that it was conquered by. And if you disagree with that, then you're just dumb. Like, just think about the effect that America has and has had throughout all of history. I don't know if it's going to be like that in the future. Seems like America's kind of going downhill a little bit. But in the past, in all of history, of American history, it has had a profoundly positive effect on the earth, with the exception of a couple events here and there. I'll grant you that. You know, there's been some bad things that America has done, no doubt. But you think about what the positive effect economically, culture-wise. You know, people die trying to come here all the time. Like, every day, people are dying attempting to come to America, and that's for a reason. It's just ridiculous to try and say that we should feel guilty for creating this great country. And also, I wasn't even there, so I don't know why I'm supposed to feel guilty for it. It was my ancestors that conquered this shit. I didn't do it. So, you know, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of not sorry. But also, after this American tribe demanded that Ben and Jerry's return its land after the 4th of July message, of course, Ben and Jerry's doesn't say a word. They don't promise to, you know, give back any sort of land. They don't promise to give back their headquarters to the Native Americans. They don't say anything. And this article right here proves that. Ben and Jerry's silent on returning its land to Native American tribes. Ben and Jerry's isn't interested in discussing returning any of its land to Native American tribes. The ice cream company chose to attack America as a country on stolen land with an Independence Day Instagram post. The company demanded land be returned to Native Americans. Well, things took an interesting twist when it was revealed Ben and Jerry's headquarters in South Burlington, Vermont is on land previously controlled by the Abenaki people, and they want it back. Nulhegan Band of the Coosac Abenaki Nation chief Don Stevens, I'll never get over how hilarious that is, that the Nulhegan Band of the Coosac Abenaki Nation chief name is Don Stevens. Come on, man. That's like some Key and Peele stuff. Told Newsweek he'd love to see the land return to its original Native American owners. Ben and Jerry's silent on returning land. Seeing as how it is the stated policy of Ben and Jerry's that all stolen land should be returned, it seems obvious the woke ice cream company would immediately begin the process of handing over its headquarters and any and all the land across America it has property on that was ever controlled by Native Americans. Well, it looks like Ben and Jerry's is more than willing to talk the talk, but it's a different story when it comes to walking the walk. I repeatedly reached out to Ben and Jerry's to ask if there are any plans to return the land and what the timeline was for getting it done. Not a single request for comment was returned for a company that was unbelievably vocal about how horrible America is and how land must be returned. It's gone dead silent now that it's come time to pony up. Why isn't Ben & Jerry's leading the way? The company should have vacated its headquarters long ago. Demolition could have already been underway and the Abenaki people could once again control their land. Woke is always going to woke. The fact Ben & Jerry's is silent shouldn't really surprise anyone. It's easy to talk a huge game. It's a lot harder to back it up. And you know what their excuse is going to be? You know what their response would be if Ben & Jerry's were to actually respond to any of these things? It would be, oh, we put the link to donate to something, some BS. Look, it says stolen indigenous land and commit to returning it. Learn more and take action at the link in our bio. So they put some kind of link that you can donate to something, some BS foundation or company, corporation, whatever it is. That's what they're going to say their action was. They're not actually taking any action, but they put a link in their bio, so that makes them feel like they're actually doing some kind of work. All it is just empty virtual signaling. We've seen these companies, these woke corporations do this over and over again. Ben & Jerry's is probably the worst one, and I think they would have lost a lot of money if people out there were still eating Ben & Jerry's, when most people on our side of things already knew what Ben & Jerry's was before this 4th of July incident, before the anti-American tweets on 4th of July. Let me know in the comments if you're one of those people who have been knowing for a long time that Ben & Jerry's were these just woke weirdos now. Like, if this was a Bud Light situation where people thought that Ben and Jerry's was somewhat on their side, or at least kind of neutral, you know, just normal, then it would be different. I think a lot of people would stop buying Ben and Jerry's and they'd probably lose a lot of money, but it's not going to look like a huge boycott in my opinion, just because I think a lot of people had already been not buying Ben and Jerry's for a long time. But let me know what you think about Ben and Jerry's getting absolutely embarrassed by this native tribe, by Don Stevens. Shout out to the chief of the Abenaki people, Don Stevens. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments about this whole Ben and Jerry situation.